Hey, what's up, Kaijus? It's your boy Kaiju Kong, aka 2K. Alright, it's going to be another Q&A session with the brothers around the world, and today's question comes from a brother named Malcolm Lee White. Shout out to you, my friend. And he asked me, how does a Sigma male put or keep a woman in her place? Now, I know a lot of content like this, videos have been made about this topic already on YouTube, mainly in the alpha male or the red pill sphere. And Sigma male, I believe Anthony Spade did a video about this already sometime last year. But this is gonna be like, I want to add something new because I don't see anyone talking about this. And this is very crucial. This is the foundation. Everyone teaches you strategies, everyone teaches you tactics. But you know, if you, as a Sigma male especially, if you follow strategies, if you follow tactics, you're kind of diluting yourself, because what are strategies? What are these formulas? Formulas are very robotic, they're very mechanical. In effect, you're kind of becoming who you don't like to be, which is part of the matrix. The matrix is just mechanical, robotic. Do this, you get that. Do this, you get that. As a Sigma male, you want to be different, you want to stand out, and you want to be that breath of fresh air that women like to see, because everyone else is doing these stupid pickup artist strategies and all this step 1, step 2, step 3. And to be someone different, unapologetically, that is the breath of fresh air that women want to see. That guy who truly is unashamed of himself and also unashamed of his masculinity. So with that aside, let me ask you one main question that you should ask yourself. Who are you that the woman should feel, that the woman should want to submit to herself to you? Who are you that a woman would want to suddenly find her place in the relationship below you? Do you deserve that title? Do you deserve that honor of her looking up to you? Because this is what, especially a Sigma male understands this. A Sigma male goes against the grain because he does not like the grain. He goes against authority because he does not like the authority. You should understand this yourself. So think of yourself as the woman. Put yourself in the woman's shoes. Do you think that you'd want to go follow an authority that you don't respect? No. Therefore, be the type of man that the woman respects in the first place. Why do you think women like men who are ambitious, who have goals, who are driven? It's because it shows a strong sense of internal drive and internal fire. They are constantly mastering themselves. And when they have mastered themselves, a girl sees that as integrity. He did what he told himself he was going to do. Therefore, he has a much better leadership potential of leading, not because he can lead himself sufficiently. He can then lead others as well. He can lead the family. He can lead company. He can lead that. That speaks volumes in terms of his future potential to take care of her, take care of her family, take care of the children, take care of everything that stands in their way in the future. So that is the foundation. Before you ask yourself, how do I keep a woman in check? First ask yourself, how do I keep myself in check? How do you keep yourself in check? And ask yourself also, do you know what you stand for? Who are you? If there is one word that represents who you are as a man, what is that? And if you have not found that what you stand for in life, or that one word that capitalizes who you are as a person, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to actually attract the girl that you like, because you're not sure exactly who you are. How are you going to attract the girl that you think you like? Just think of it this way. When you look at all the great men of history, you could easily see, and you could easily describe them in one word. Whether it be innovation, whether it be adventure, whether it be creativity, whether it be war or being a warrior, fighter, whether it be books, whether it be music, whether it be women, whether it be love, everything. These great men of the past, they embodied in essence a certain value, and they lived it out day by day, improving on themselves, but following that path. That's why it's very important to know who you are and what you stand for. And at least, even if it's very early, to know your destination, work towards something. Because even if life is unpredictable and changes happen, even if your goal, if you realize that, hey, my goal that I thought that I had back then is not the proper goal, therefore I have to change, at least you moved. Probably you would not have come to that epiphany if you did not move in the first place. So just move forward. The best road that you think is possible for you now, move towards that. Because in essence, if you want a girl to follow you, if you want a girl to submit, or the act of being a leader means that you are going somewhere. The act of following infers that you're following someone who is actually walking, who's actually moving somewhere. Remember, you're doing this for yourself. Don't do it for other people. This is where beta males, alpha males fail, because most of the things that they probably get into are things that society values or other people value, or they think the girl that they like value, but they don't really value it themselves. Therefore, that journey may be like a drudgery to them. It may be too difficult for them. It may not be sustainable. And eventually, the girl who will follow them will start to realize like, hey, this guy does not actually like the journey that he's on. Therefore, if he's not liking the journey that he's on, why am I following this guy? But a Sigma male who truly knows his worth and truly follows his own heart and does what he does, not because he wants to do it for someone else, but because he wants to do it for himself, he goes on that path and it's more sustainable. He can keep going, he can keep going, no matter if there's someone there with him or if there's nobody there with him. He's happy either way. When you think about it, other men, they lose more when they lie to themselves and go after something that they don't truly value. The relationships that they have are not truly treasured because they know deep inside that they're lying to themselves and they're presenting themselves to others as a mask. And even if they are surrounded by a lot of people, they feel that those people don't truly understand them. Another thing that I also want to point out is the difference between a Sigma and an Alpha. Sometimes to become an Alpha, it just means to just, out-alpha the other guys, just to compete on an external plane. But sometimes doing this, you lack the empathy that a Sigma male has. Because a Sigma male, when he develops himself, he truly goes through the ups and downs by himself. He understands the pains, the struggles. Therefore, when he sees other people going on that journey, he understands the wins, he understands how the losses feel as well, which I see that alpha males don't typically have all the time. Because they delegate tasks on other people, they tell other people what to do, they don't really know what those people are feeling. But a Sigma male, when he leads, he understands that when he delegates tasks, he understands the difficulty because he has done those tasks himself. Now I want to bring up a quote by John Maxwell. John Maxwell said, "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." And that's, I believe, is a big characteristic of a true leader. Especially if you want to make a woman submit or keep a woman in her place, which I still believe is a funny term, funny way of explaining it. A woman will just follow you. Women and men will follow you if they understand that you are a good leader, a good alpha, so to speak. Funny thing I've seen in life is that when you treat everyone with equality and you demonstrate these things, competence and a goal in mind, even if you treat others with equality, they will kind of go underneath you. Like they will follow you, but they will follow your lead because you're that guy with the vision. You're that guy that is going somewhere with or without them. Now I want to end with a story from the Bible. Many of you Christians already know the story. It's a story of Adam and Eve. It explains the reason why we were kind of kicked out of paradise and entered this world of sin and pain and suffering. Well, basically, for those of you who don't know the story, long story short, Eve was tempted by the serpent who told her that he said, like, you can eat of all the trees, you can eat all the fruits in the garden. And she said, yeah, we can eat all the fruits in the garden except for that fruit, which is the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And he said, you sure? Why do you think that God forbade you to eat of that fruit? Don't you know that probably when you eat that fruit, he's afraid that when you eat that fruit, you will know more than him. You will know good and you will know evil. He's just preventing you to eat that fruit because he doesn't want you to be on the same level as he is. So then Eve, seeing that, she wanted that knowledge. And this is the important thing. Women, when they help a man, they want what is best for you. Now, when you think of it that way, what is so bad about knowing knowledge of good and evil? The same thing. Women, they want a lot of things, especially if they know that the man they're with has the potential to achieve those things. They will always push you to be better, and that's the power of having a woman, a feminine woman next to you. She drives a man to do better, to work harder, to work longer, to improve himself. So Eve, yes, may have been in her feminine energy. Many men say it was Eve's fault, she was the one who gave the fruit, yeah. But when you think of it that way, there was nothing really inherently bad about the fruit, eating from the fruit. Aside from that, it was forbidden. But it was Adam's fault equally that they both were kicked out of paradise. Why? Because when you read the Bible, there's no sense like, when the serpent was speaking to Eve that Adam was not there. No, in effect, when you read the Bible, I forgot exactly, but when you read it carefully, you will know that when the serpent was tempting Eve, Adam was right next to them. And Adam could have argued, but what? He was not. He was not doing anything. He was passive. He was completely passive. And when you do more research into what the serpent looks like, many paintings and many media, they portray the serpent as a snake. But when you really do your research, you'll be surprised to find out that most probably that serpent was not a snake. It was an entire dragon. It was a big beast that faced them in that Garden of Eden. So Adam, probably his balls fell out, and no wonder he was not saying anything. He was speechless. Because here he was faced with a beast that he could not conquer. Unlike all the other animals in the garden, he had dominion over them. He named them. And yet this beast he failed to have dominion over. So his first failure was not standing up to the demons, not standing up to the dragon that he was faced with in his life, which represents a challenge, an obstacle, or a burden. He lost the balls to stand up to it. That was his first failure. His second failure was, as I mentioned before, you have to stand for an ideal. You have to stand for one purpose, for a word. What do you represent? Adam was created in God's eyes to have dominion over the earth, to till the land, to make sure that the world prospered. Therefore, he was like a mini creator or a cultivator of the land. So if he really embraced his identity as the cultivator, as a king, so to speak, of that Garden of Eden, he would have known that this little accessory, this bullshit, this knowledge of the difference between good and evil, what does that have to do with my purpose? What does that have to do with my mission as a king? What does that have to do with my mission as a cultivator of the land? And this is another lesson for all of us. When you pick your mission, when you choose exactly who you are, focus on the things that matter. Everything else is unnecessary fluff. I want to end with one more point, guys. This is the last point. I keep thinking of many things, but this is the last point. Not all girls will follow your lead, as I just said. But this is the fault with, I see a lot of red pill videos, and I kind of laugh at it because they always refer to, you see, this is female nature, but the females that they always point out, and I see it on a daily, I don't know why nobody else sees it. The females that they keep pointing out are obviously from the same crowd of women. The Bible says, you don't throw your pearls to the swine. You do not lay with stray dogs, otherwise the next day you're going to wake up with fleas. It's the same thing. Not only with friendships, but with relationships as well. And I can say this as a fact from my own family because my cousins who are females, they're not the typical females that I see going out on a daily to the clubs, to the parties, to the bars. They don't actually put themselves out there. They're very low key. Now, this is not an invitation for you guys to hit me up and say, hey, can I meet your cousins? I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying this as a fact that I know my cousins, they're pretty, they're beautiful, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're nice. They have good values, but they don't present themselves to the world. They're like treasures hidden underneath the ground. And I want to give a big shout out to Sigma Revolution here because Sigma Revolution, I watched this video. I think it was published like a day or two ago from when I'm recording this. But he characterized the woman that a Sigma male should be getting with. And I'm not going to take away any time from his video. You have to go and watch that video for you to know exactly what type of woman that is. But I really agree with what he said there. So check that out. So let me end with this. On your search for this good, quality, valuable woman in your own life, you have to make sure and ask yourself, are you equally that good, high quality, valuable man that woman is also searching for?